Before I begin, I would like to thank my family and friends that are here tonight, here to support me. And I want to thank the rest of you all here tonight as well for supporting an organization that is near and dear to my heart. Again, my name is Anita, and I'm a proud Denver Public School and Denver Kids graduate, West High School class of 1999. Go Cowboys! While it is not easy to share my story with all of you, it's important to explain how Denver Kids has helped me become who I am today. I share my story to install in you that when a child has support, that child will thrive as an adult. Oftentimes, as an adult, I want to forget my adolescent years and all the trials and tribulations that brought. In short, I was a child making decisions without any regard or understanding the consequences. I'm the youngest of three to Salvador Banuelos, who immigrated to the United States all by himself as a teenager without an education and only $10 in his pocket. He had a dream to provide everything possible he can to his family, something that was unattainable while he was in Mexico. I am the baby girl of Francis Banuelos, who moved from Trinidad, Colorado in search of better job opportunities. My grandfather was a railroad worker, my grandmother was raised on a farm, and who was a homemaker who did not have the opportunity to attend school and obtain an education. I'm the youngest sibling to my older sister, Irma, who was like a second mother to me. I am the little sister to my older brother, Jose, who still protects me to this day. Growing up, my family had limited resources, but we always managed. As a young child, we moved around a lot. It seemed that every year was a new school for me. I always hated being the new girl at the school. I had trouble fitting in and making friends. However, I tried to remain a good student, to make the grade, to go to school every day, and do my best. But no matter how hard I tried to stay positive, I really started to hate school. Eventually, when I was in elementary school, my parents were able to save up enough money to buy their home in Southwest Denver, where they still live today. And even though I lived in one place, I still had to switch schools a lot because of the busing in Denver Public Schools. Even though we moved around more, things gotten worse. When I started middle school, it was even harder to fit in. I started to get in trouble, started to fight with other girls. My grades were unimportant to me. It was sixth grade, and I was not heading on the right path. I started to change how I dressed, how I carried myself. I hung around with an older crowd and made really poor decisions. I learned how to come home pretending like I was in school all day. When I wasn't, I learned how to forge my mother's signature to get out of school early or excuse my absences. Sorry, Mom. I was 12 years old. It was then that Denver Kids stepped into my life. Our family had a long history of Denver Kids. My older sister, she was in Denver Girls before the merger with Denver Boys. I was paired with Tawny Willett, an educational counselor, and definitely a miracle worker. I was also paired with a volunteer mentor, Anna, a beautiful young professional who came from a similar background like me. Anna became my mentor, my friend, but mostly important, became family. She would pick me up on the weekends, and we would go to breakfast and talk for hours. Tawny closely monitored my progress throughout the school year, grades, absences, and many other issues that would arise at school. She also checked on my home life. From the beginning, I knew that she would be with me every step of the way. I know I have a team in my corner who would help me thrive. My Denver Kids team came to me at the right time, as seventh grade was my worst year. I got in trouble a lot. I was almost suspended for a year, and expulsion was threatened. My parents were devastated. The following weeks, Denver Kids helped me avoid expulsion, and my suspension was reduced. Tawny was there when I returned to school, trying to make sure that I was on the right path. Middle school isn't supposed to be this hard. In 8th grade, not only was Denver Kids by my side to help me thrive, but the teachers started to help me open up my eyes to new ways of thinking by having me read about leaders like Cesar Chavez and Dr. Martin Luther King. High school ushered in opportunities for a fresh start. While my intentions were good, I quickly found myself in the wrong crowd again. I missed a lot of school, but I somehow managed to pass all my classes. Tani kept on me about my attendance. She also told me she expected more of me. She told me I wasn't meeting my potential. She told me that my behavior was unacceptable. It was tough love. I didn't believe in myself, but she believed I could thrive. One day, Tani came by school, and before she could say a word, my tears filled my eyes. I told her that my father and I had a huge fight, and I wanted to leave school and never come back. But Tani taught me how to channel my energy, how to remain positive. She helped me find an after-school job so I had somewhere safe to go after school for a few hours and learn job skills. By junior year, even though a lot of my friends had already dropped out of school, Tani was there to encourage me to stay focused. I began to thrive with Denver Kids, with Anna and Tani by my side. I graduated from high school on time. I then attended Metropolitan State University of Denver on a scholarship from that job that Tani helped me to get. And I was the first in my family to earn a bachelor's degree. After college, I tried out a few corporate jobs while also volunteering my time. This was what nonprofits kept pulling me towards advocacy work for youth and education. I took the chance and I started working for an alternative high school in Southwest Denver, in Denver where several kids attended. Just like me, I watched them turn their academics around to graduate with their high school diplomas and become thriving adults. I knew this was the type of work I was meant to be doing. I also worked for Denver City Council for 6.5 years, and as a senior legislative aide, working with the community on projects with my main focus on youth safety. My most proud moment was when Denver Kids created the first Youth Empowerment Center. I was able to engage with the youth from Southwest Denver. We're helping to design the programming support services that they felt was needed. Hearing youth voices inspired me to make the decision to go back to my roots as an advocate for empowering and equity within education. I was once nearly kicked out, and when I graduated, I thought I would never step foot in Denver Public Schools again. Now, I spend more time within the walls of DPS than I have ever imagined. I guess you can say Denver Public Schools was not done with me yet. I'm passionate about supporting families to find their voices and supporting equitable education opportunities with high-performing schools. Anna is here tonight, and I want to thank you for always seeing potential in me, even when I didn't. You made an everlasting impression in my life, and for that, I am eternally grateful, and I love you with all my heart. You are a constant example of the kind of woman I try to be every day. I also want to share a lesson I learned from Donna Haltine, the executive director during my time in Denver Kids, who was so loving and caring. She taught me never to forget to come back home. I learned from her to always give back to your community. That made an impression on me that I could never fully understand. Now I know what she meant. I kept up with Denver Kids, speaking at events, joining the Young Professionals Council in 2013, and referring students to the program. To everyone in the room, I want you to remember my story and how Denver Kids impacted my life. I know from experience that Denver Kids truly care about all of its students, their families, and their future. Our youth are important, they matter, they are worth it. Every one of them have the potential to be exceptional, and you are here, are part of making that possible. I'm trying to do my part today. I am the Director of Community Organizing with Transform Education Now, and I support families in Denver Public Schools and throughout Colorado to help ensure that every student has an equitable education that they deserve in order to become thriving adults. I truly believe that you are here tonight because you are invested in making sure our youth thrive. Even still, there are so many more lives that could benefit from Denver Kids. I ask you, please answer that call. Stand with us. We cannot and should not do this without you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your time, for listening to my story, and for your dedication to the future of Denver Kids.